Good morning, good morning, good morning, Queen City Picker family. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It's kind of cloudy here. I woke up about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. Roberta let me sleep. She knows she's not supposed to do that. I'll get old and lazy, or lazier. How are you doing this morning, Tom? Tom, how you doing this morning, Todd?
I'm all right, Tom.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's see who all's in the chat. Good morning, Jabus. Good morning, Ping. Good morning, Flip It Good. Good morning, Peddling Profits. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Chatterbox? Yep, I guess that's me. Anywho, good morning, Spam. I'm back after a week of doing nothing, which is like what's new. But we had a lovely time. It was so hot, and I know. What do you expect? You were in Florida and the Caribbean, but it was so hot.
Yeah, that casino, if they would just turn the air conditioner on in there once in a while.
Well, that's it. If they turn if they turn the air conditioning down to about, I don't know, 60 degrees, then people would stay in there more. And
Yeah, and I'm sure that dining room, yeah, they probably just kept the air conditioner off so they could save money.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And it's not like they're not, damn it, generating it for free. Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go now. Found my ticket for my flight to.
We're so professional.
I know, I know. You don't see Jimmy Kimmel cleaning off his desk during his show.
Jimmy Kimmel,
Another late night talk show host.
who watches that asshole?
I don't. I don't know. That's the only first thing that came into my mind. Good morning, vintage. No, that's you can't even hang up pineapples the correct way on the cruises now. What the hell are you coding there, lag? Good morning, Mike. Camel, Javis, Camel. We speak the same dialect, so you
Is
should know what
Jimmy
that is.
Kimmel a reseller?
No,
How funny right there, Sandy.
I know that was funny right there. She tried to take over my show. If you're going to be funny, you got to come in on the show, Sandy. I did think that I had lag was on the cruise with me because there was a large woman with 4 little children running around. So I said, "Oh, that's got to be lag." He just couldn't stand being away from me. So how's the resale world been to you, Todd, since was gone?
Oh, it's been pretty steady. I'm getting to where I'm at an age where packing big crap is not fun anymore. Like, it's good money, and I don't know, that's kind of why I keep doing it. But, yeah, see that convection oven right there?
Yeah.
That's going to be a pain in the pain to pack and ship.
Did you sell it?
But it sold for $120, so I
You did sell it.
gotta pack it. Ugh.
So how was your sales while I was gone? Did you make your daily quota?
Well, I'm not hitting my goal, but it was steady. I don't know.
Right.
I think I set too lofty of a goal.
Well, you might have to list more
No, I ain't
to,
gonna
to
work
meet
any
it.
harder. 4 hours a day, man. 4 hours a day. I'm done.
But when you only get 4 items listed in that 4 hours, that's not very
Shut up.
good.
Yeah. Yesterday I packed all my stuff from the 3-day weekend except that oven.
Right.
So I didn't list any yesterday. It was all about the packing and poker. Me and Sadie played poker, and we did really good. I got like 29th place, and he got like 19th or something.
No.
So I won I won $63, and he won like almost 100.
Wow. Y'all were cooking it yesterday.
Yeah, once in a while we do okay.
Good morning, Itching.
I know, lag. I just gotta keep improving my ability to pick more expensive items. I mean, I try. I look at auctions. I look at garage sales. I look at rummage sale. I quit going to thrift stores because I can't find anything there. I could spend an hour in the thrift store and walk out with one thing worth $20. I'm like, well, that was a wasted hour.
Good morning, Hank. I think you have to go to some of the more off the wall. I mean, the non Goodwill, you know, the chain thrift stores. Even though we
Yep.
have what's it called? Good morning, Hank. We have
Chastity gets all your good stuff, Javis.
yeah, she's a hard worker. Good morning, Julie. She's what's the name of that? There's a chain here. It's Thrift Town or something like that. It's part of a national chain, but they have more junky stuff. Kind of, I say junky stuff. It's they have a
Junk.
lot
All
more
right.
stuff than Goodwill
Jake.
does. Good morning, Scan. Good morning,
Man,
Tara.
everybody's showing up.
I know they thought they were going to be in here this morning to mourn their loss, but I'm back. Value Village. That's it. It's over on Park Road. And I mean South Boulevard, and there's one over on Central, I believe it is. But they have some good stuff in it.
No, Phil, I generally, once I'm through packing and listing for the day, I generally play poker or I organize the hoard.
Good morning, Tara.
Well, I thought I'd say hello, and I see you're back from your cruise.
Yep, had a great
Did you
time.
have fun?
Yes, we
Well,
did.
that's good.
But it was hot.
It was
That
hot,
was
guys.
It was
It was
fun.
hot.
hot.
Where'd you go this time? The Caribbean?
We went to Aruba, which I liked Aruba,
Oh,
and then we stopped at the Dominican Republic on the way back. I'm going to go with some
cool.
extra money the next time and stock up on pharmaceuticals for the house.
Oh, I
Cause
thought you were gonna pay for your trip by reselling stuff from Aruba and Dominican Republic. Hi guys.
that that's there's no bargains down there.
Oh,
And I bought, I didn't buy anything except I bought a muscle shirt for the baby. Says Aruba on the front of it. and I bought a little purse for Medeja, Sasha's girlfriend, and some little change
Ah.
purses, some gifty stuff. So there's not any bargains down there. You know, they're hitting all the tourists are there. Just a second, let me move some stuff so you can lay down and quit irritating me this morning.
Okay.
Here. Okay, look out the window. Whatever. Uh, Tanner missed me while I
One
was
year
gone.
we went to Orlando, and we went to Orlando, and I'm like, let's go see if there's anything for auctions. Like, it was like a Thursday night, and I don't even know if they're still in business, but they had this Orlando auction house. Actually, it was kind of fun, and we bought some stuff, and I listed it the next morning, and actually some of that shit sold. Like when we were in Florida, on our way back in Florida.
But security was tight.
Oh yeah,
They
they
won't
like
let you take anything
divided.
out,
They wouldn't let you take anything out of the
and you had to pay
auction.
by the thing you won.
No, they did it in half. So let's say the first half of the auction was like from 5:30 to 7:30. You had to pay for that stuff you bought then, and then you could put it on your car. And then they had the second half of the auction from like 7:30 to 9:30.
Oh God, we drove straight
It was
down
on the other
there.
side of Orlando. It was on the floor.
But that shouldn't bother you because you guys always stay to the end.
Yeah,
Well, we do, yes. That's when you get your best deals. But it was kind of fun. But it was, Brandon was little. I remember that.
yeah.
He did sleep with my grandpa, but I guess now he could take care of himself. It was kind of fun though. We did it one time, but it's hard to line that up.
It's such a long drive down
Well,
there.
It did. It paid for Disney. It definitely paid big. We went to Disney that year. I know it paid a lot of Disney.
we had a chandelier in the back of the truck, and it was pouring rain. And I'm like, oh man, I hope the rain doesn't hurt that chandelier. And then the next thing, the phone goes ka-ching. I look, I'm like, oh crap, we just sold the chandelier.
Oh God.
But it was fine. It was brass. Anything.
Hmm.
I think we were like in Tennessee.
I never watched the Whatnot auctions. I tried to go on Whatnot one day, and then it was like wanting me to log in, and I think I might have made an account there once, and then I can't remember the password and shit, and I'm like, it's too complicated. Yeah.
See, I think y'all
I'm
would.
like an 80-year-old woman. This is complicated. I quit.
Well, get your 16-year-old son to come in here and hook you up. I think Jim
Yeah.
would and Tara would be a great whatnotters. They have such a good
Oh no, I don't
web.
have. No, I don't think so. No, no, I just don't have that kind of. That's just not me.
Jim could put on his 20th Century 21 gold jacket and get on there and just
He
hustle
sold
away.
it. Well, he's bigger. He's bigger than he was when
Oh, was
he's
he?
bigger
Oh
than he
yeah, I
was.
wish I could fit into it.
I thought you
Yeah,
lost
he
a
was
bunch of
small
weight,
back then. When
Jim.
he was married,
I don't know, not that much.
I think even with sometimes when you lose weight though, your frame is spread out wider. Do you understand what I mean? It's kind of like it's like if you took a blob that's in a ball and then set it on a table for a couple hours and it becomes flat. It's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I gotta go. I
Wow.
gotta make a skin removal. I gotta get those.
He's
skin
not that
removed.
big. He don't
Tara's
have bat wings or anything.
Tara's
My
body
neck all the way down to
shaming.
my belly.
I know. Well, I'm going. If this disappears, it's
No,
because the algorithms or whatever the
well, it
computer heard.
changes. It change. I mean, it changes. I'm not the same person I was when I was 25 years old either. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Good morning, Harry.
Dang, I'm glad Tara's not at my house to look at my body.
I know. God, she'd be harsh.
Well, I'm talking for myself too. I am the round ball that's turning into a pancake.
Turning into a pancake.
Uh,
Yeah, like if
but
you set something like let's say some kind of like soft substance and it was in a ball form when you put it on the table and then the weight of its own weight would just make it start spreading out and turning into a pancake.
And I was
It's
cutting up.
called science.
I was cutting up trees yesterday. I was on that chainsaw 2 hours, and in the old days, I mean, I could just go with the chainsaw all day. Well, 2 hours is my limit. I was done.
I mean, I think for our age, we're in pretty good shape, but we're not in the same shape we were 30 years ago. I can admit it.
Yeah, me too.
Roll Tide, Sandy. Sandy said, I shopped at a flea market in Michigan all day yesterday on whatnot. I live in Alabama. Well, if you find some purchases, some buys, that's the way to do it. Uh,
Uh, I'm just gonna say this one other thing about the weight thing. So
what's
when
that?
I was a kid, when I was
Uh-huh.
a teenager, I was riding at a horse barn, and there was this lady there. I'm not gonna mention any names. She's probably still alive. Not that she listens to reselling stuff. And she used to be real heavy, and she did like dramatic weight loss. Okay, but I'm like, and they're like, oh my god, she's so skinny now. I'd be like, well, I mean, I guess, but she looked like something out of a Looney Tunes cartoon where they like, like Wile E. Coyote got run over by a steamroller, and he was not big, but he was flat and wide. That's what she looked like. So I think it's kind
Please.
of like that. Anyway, now we'll move on to the next
You're
subject.
so kind.
Kind of
I
like one of
know.
those.
It's true because I'd be like, she ain't skinnier than me. Anyway, I'm not as wide as her. I mean, if I stood behind her, she'd definitely be wider than me.
When
Kind of,
we're done, you
kind of
gotta
like
tell
one
me
of those flying squirrels that spreads its skin out wide.
Okay,
Yeah.
now that's fine.
Anyway, so we should probably talk about
Yeah,
reselling instead of
you've
body
just
shaming.
hurt a bunch of flying squirrels' feelings.
Yeah. You know, I'm going
So
to get all kinds of
so
hate
when I came on
comments.
here, I heard how y'all love going to thrift stores to go get your stuff.
Um, how's your sales been, Tara?
All right,
Jim?
still alive.
Bills getting paid?
Good.
That
Good.
eating
I mean,
machine
we went
getting
to
fed every
Wisconsin.
day?
Me and Jim went to Wisconsin a couple weeks ago, so
You went to
do
Wisconsin.
that.
I think it's slowly coming back. I mean, things, economic changes and whatever, but I mean, I think things are slowly. It wasn't like I think a lot of people thought, well, if something changes, it'll be like a light switch, but it's slowly the
Yeah,
light is
it
slowly
depends
getting
what you're
brighter.
selling
Yeah.
or what you get into at the time too.
I think you got people in general are. I think you have economically people are still a little spooked, but I think they're starting to loosen up some.
Like like some like tchotchke stuff I think is moving slower. But then like a month ago or so, or a month and a half ago, I bought oh my god, it was a box full. And I think Todd sold some of this stuff, some of that toast point of sale stuff. I paid, it was at an auction. They just had it in a box piled up, and I paid like $5 or $6 for the box. There was 3 units in it, two newer ones and one older one. I got almost $1,000 for all that crap. So
That is
anytime you take
good
$5
stuff
and
to
turn it into
sell.
1,000, that's all right. Yeah.
Seem like
I got
local
3 of them. We got a list of
auctions are great for that kind of stuff because nobody
Yeah,
realizes
which
what
is
that
funny
stuff is
because they
worth.
had this auction company had a barbecue like restaurant that went out of business, so they had sold some of that stuff, and I tried to get in it there, and that stuff went so high. I don't know if this is stuff that ended up not going on that auction, but they put it in their general auction, and it just fell through the cracks, because it just looked like monitor screens.
It's oh, I meant to tell Javis. I passed a load of your Timu stuff while we were at sea. It was headed this direction. A
Uh-oh.
big old freighter full of
Still coming in.
yeah, Javis's Timu stuff, and or as Todd as Scott says, it's a truckload of tariffs coming in.
Mhm. Yeah, but didn't they lift the tariffs for like 90 days while they're
Yeah,
renegotiating?
yeah.
So they're tearing down the old Waco High School and they're doing an auction for the contents and there's zero pictures. I don't know whether I should go to that or not.
When is it?
Is it live auction or online?
It's like the 5th? Yeah, it's a live
Uh,
auction.
Oh,
They
do
didn't
they
even
still
put
have
up any
equipment, or is it
pictures, but
mostly
I'm
like
sure they got like
transfer?
rows of those metal lockers and, desks and
Oh
chairs,
god, yeah.
lots of stuff like that.
I
But
wouldn't mess with any of that stuff.
Did they
I
move it
know,
to?
but um, shoot, they did an auction here
But
of
they might
some
have like
stuff.
athletic equipment.
Yeah,
Sometimes if like they still have like athletic equipment, like not necessarily on eBay, but like here because you have so many kids in football. I mean, if you can buy stuff like weight bench equipment, I mean, actually it sells really good on Facebook Marketplace. Over here it does anyway.
yeah, maybe
And I would say football's probably pretty big in Texas.
some kitchen utensils, or
Yeah.
you just
Um,
never know.
Or like let's say, um,
Probably lots of outdated
you
computer
know,
stuff.
like if they're doing the fixtures, like where they take, like the school clocks that are in the hallway,
Yeah,
those slave
those would be
clocks,
good.
that run off a mast. Actually, those slave clocks do good.
And one thing to watch or make sure you're around for is when they do like the janitor's supply room. They'll have all these buildings, any of these, like a nursing home or a hospital or a school. They'll have a room where the guys keep their like spare parts, like the sprinkler heads, for the automatic sprinkler system, other electronic replacement parts, filters, stuff like that. If you can make sure you're around when they hit that room. If the stuff goes right, because they'll like auction off a wall of that room. I've been to those things where they just. I had a thing. I bought a $20 workbench. I wound up selling the workbench to somebody because I didn't have room for it by the time I got all this other stuff that I bought off that wall. But I mean, it was from a nursing home. It was like this device in a plastic case where you check to make sure that a patient can't get their head through the bed rail for
right.
injury. That you have to, the state comes and tests, make sure that you're in compliance. A bunch of sprinkler heads, a bunch of warning buttons or
Nurse call
nurse call
buttons.
buttons. A bunch of module replacements for electronic parts or whatever. I mean, it was a bunch of stuff I didn't even know what the heck it was. I mean, we made thousands off of that, off a
Yeah,
$20 investment. I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars. I loaded up a truck and a trailer full of the stuff I bought off this wall. And like I said, the original thing I bought it for was a stainless steel workbench. I bought it for I bought the whole lot for 20. The guy looks at me and goes, "What would you sell? Would you sell me just a table for?" I don't normally do this at an auction, but I'm like, I had no room for this damn workbench. I'm like, yeah, take it, $20 out the door. I On the way home, I took a back road home because I was so overloaded. I actually lost a Singer treadle sewing machine
oh
that was,
no.
I don't know why it was
Oh
there.
wow.
It fell off the trailer. I don't know where. I just got home and there was a loose strap and the sewing machine was gone. I'm like, well, oh well.
Peddling Prophet
Yeah.
says,
That was when we were still in Wisconsin.
Gwen would divorce
Oh
you
my
if you
god! And
came
we
home
bought
with the
like,
flooring out of a gym. But she's got a point. How old is the gym floor? Wonder if they're selling that. Because when I was in high school
uh,
back in the dark ages, if you walked across our gym floor and didn't have on sneakers, our coaches would lose their mind. And there was
yeah.
a couple.
I knew a guy who bought a gym floor.
Go ahead.
I knew a guy who bought a gym floor. Make sure that you don't have to peel it up because he had to go out. He had to go to that gymnasium and with a chisel and a hammer and peel up that entire gym floor.
Yeah.
That sounds
Uh,
like a lot of work.
Todd
It
mentioned
would take grinder.
clocks. Todd mentioned clocks. You older
He probably
folk,
never did anything with it.
do y'all remember when
Oh, what?
when they would reset the clocks? All the clocks in the store, all the clocks in the school were connected to the clock in the principal's office, and he
Yeah,
would
those slave clocks do all right too.
every once in a while
The
you'd
ones on
see
the
the
wall.
clocks just start moving by themselves, like speeding up through time or backing up because they were resetting the clock in the principal's office. Good times, good memories. You ought to go and check it out, Todd. You might find some toothbrush
Yeah,
holders
I
or
mean, what else you
something.
got to do? You might as well go check it
I
out.
would definitely go.
Did you?
Oh, I was cleaning out the back room and I found 3 more boxes of toothbrush holders.
Oh boy.
I
Have
thought
you
I'd
ever
thrown them
listed
all
the
away.
toothbrush holders?
Huh?
Oh, did you ever list them or no?
Oh yeah, they were listed for over a year and I didn't sell a single one.
What they do? Come in a pallet?
Yeah, there was a pallet and it said
You should.
toothbrushes. I thought I was buying toothbrushes. And I bought it
Oh
for,
boy.
what was it, $15 plus 10% buyer premium, something like that.
Um,
So
well,
I've
that's
had a lot
probably the
of fun
case where
with
that's
them
something you
though.
can buy at the dollar store. It ain't worth somebody paying to ship it.
Todd,
So
they might have band uniforms you could buy.
they come in a gross of 72 a box. So I got 3 boxes left.
I had those
So
University of Kentucky band uniforms. I mean, I've made a lot of money off them. I
that
probably have
surprised
sold.
me because
We what would you say we had 300? I got rid of all the bibbers. They didn't really sell, but
We
the
gave those away.
jackets. We maybe had 300 jackets, and I'm probably a little more than halfway through them. I'd say they
hmm,
go in.
It was 6.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
600 jackets. I know that some of
that's
the.
what he estimated. It was 600.
Oh, I know some of the totes are looking pretty empty, but I made a lot on them. I'm
Todd,
still
send those
selling them.
toothbrushes holders to Scott. He can use them as giveaways. Oh Lord.
You should have looked up the name of famous generals and then said this is General so and so's toothbrush holder.
That's
Sorry,
right.
no COA.
Um,
Norman Schwarzkopf's
Exactly.
toothbrush
Yeah.
holder.
did they did they
Carve a
move
little
to
initial
build a
in
new
it.
high school? Did they build a new high school and move everybody to it, or is this like one that they
yeah,
didn't need
the
any?
the new high school is supposed to be finished early this summer, so they'll all be over there.
Oh, so this is a high school that they like used like recently this year.
Yeah, they used Waco High School, but it's going to be demolished on the 7th. So the auction is like on the 3rd, and you got to pick up your stuff, or it's just going to be wrecking balled.
Demolished.
Hmm.
You know, are they going to build another school there, or have they just
I don't
go
think so. I don't know. The high school is right next to the fairgrounds and rodeo type stuff,
right?
so I'm thinking they'll probably just sell the land to the rodeo or the
Right.
the fairgrounds and just expand that. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but that's kind of what I
And
imagine they'll do with it.
and in Texas, do they really even reuse land? Don't they just like use it once, leave the building there, and then just move on to some more of the land, or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like there's a big land shortage.
Unless you're in Austin or San Antonio, and then it's kind of pricey to just leave land.
Yeah,
But like in San Antonio, if some land gets abandoned, they build a golf course on it.
there you
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Javis. They'll expand the parking lot. Uh, it's yeah, if they're because they're not going to do stuff like load up stuff and use it at the new school. You know, there's
No,
prob-
I imagine like there'll be a whole bunch of computers, old dated computer system stuff, and like
um,
You can buy like a whole bunch of like
VHS
1982
projectors, stuff like that.
computers by the pallet.
um, the old microfilm. Is that what it was? Microfilm. The where they it was strips and this is the Texas Bluebird, ding, and the teacher would have to move it to the next frame. And this is the
go.
Texas Yellow Belly Sapsucker, ding, and they'd move it to the next frame. Or
Yep.
is that
Yeah,
predate all?
I don't
Does
know
that
whether we
predate
sell those.
everybody? Because if
What are
you were
you
the
talking
teachers,
about? Are you talking about like a magic lantern? Were you guys using magic lanterns when you were in school,
shut
Todd?
up,
Like
Tara.
Oh,
candles?
I remember getting whipped with a pointer. I dropped one of those magic lantern things and it shattered. I got a sound thrashing from the schoolmaster.
I remember volunteering like in 4th grade, 5th grade to run the projector, and we would have like a 10
Oh no.
minute film, and then we would have to go to regular lessons after the film. So I volunteered to run the projector, and every once in a while I'd stick a spit wad or something in the reels so the projector would stop, and so that
Uh,
the 10-minute film would last the whole period, so we didn't have to do any
God.
regular
oh,
studying.
so you had to fix it because you're the IT guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
I
was the
remember when grade school you'd have kids competing on who got to bang the erasers outside.
yeah.
We did
I never
that
got
predates
Oh,
us.
I
erasers.
did a couple times.
But
What
there
are you
was
talking about? What, you didn't have erasers back then? Would you each have a little slate you had at your desk?
Us school moms did that herself. That was part of her job.
Oh no, well, I went to Catholic school, and they would have us bang the erasers.
Well, that's
You
because
got to?
y'all
I
were
did it a
slave
couple
I
labor.
times.
never was a good enough student where I ever got to.
Oh
Um,
Because you went outside to the playground. So you
yeah,
go take these erasers outside and beat the erasers. Because you'd have on the side of the brick building, you'd have a bunch of marks where the kids were whacking the
well,
erasers
we'd
on the side.
rack the erasers together.
Oh, we would.
We didn't get to hit them on the
I
building.
never saw it happen because I was never there for it. But you'd go outside for recess and you could see on the side of the schoolhouse, you could see where they were beating the erasers on the
Now
bricks.
they don't even have chalkboards at school anymore.
We would beat them on the sidewalk and make designs and stuff.
uh, I remember my
Uh,
first male school teacher. He would be, he'd be up at the board talking and writing on the blackboard, and he would hear kids talking in the back of the classroom. He would turn around and sling one of them damn erasers across the room at whoever was talking. So you might be talking, but you had to pay attention because you didn't know when he was going to turn around and fling a daggum eraser at you. God, could you imagine the
I had a
damn whining now? That teacher, he hit my son with a eraser. I'm suing for damage. He's scarred now. Now, if you'd have beat his ass,
when
he
I
wouldn't
was
be
in
talking.
second grade, we had a nun. When I was in second grade, we had a nun. She'd go to the back of the room. She'd pick you up by your ear and then walk you all, drag you by your ear all the way up to the front of the class, tell you to stand there, and then she'd sit down at her desk and she'd say, "Okay, now you teach the class," which lasted about 30 seconds. Then she'd tell you go sit your butt down, and then she'd resume class.
Damn,
But you didn't do that too many times.
Todd, I feel like a
I don't know if they
minority.
do
I
that
didn't. I
climbing the
wasn't taught
rope
by
at gym
nuns. I
anymore.
was just taught by hateful old Southern women.
Oh yeah, I got caught when I was like in third grade. I got caught whipping the finger on the school bus, and I got in trouble for that. Anyway, so then about a couple weeks later, there was a kid in our third grade class, a boy, and he got caught whipping the finger. And the nun, and she was a tough old bird. She's like, "This doesn't mean anything." She's walking around the class with her middle finger up. This doesn't mean anything. You kids are taking. This doesn't mean anything. I'm like, that's all he gets, and I got in trouble. My mom had to come to school and stuff like that. I was pissed. It was BS.
Oh man.
Yes, Sandy, I remember that. Do they still do that? They'd
I
have
don't
the
know if they
knotted
do that
rope hanging from the
anymore, where your
ceiling.
kid will fall off that rope.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
what I
remember when you had
figured.
to do your president's? Do you remember your president's physical fitness test? And boys would have to do chin ups, but girls would have to hang from that bar, and you had to hold your chin above the bar for like as long as you could.
Sounds weak.
Well, girls got to do. I'll tell you, you hang from a bar, hold your chin
A
above it
girl's
for
got
like
two arms.
30
A young lady has two
seconds.
arms. She can do chin up.
Yeah, there were some girls that I went to high school with that they could chin up, do more chin ups than the quarterback of the football team. Oh God.
Oh.
You got to the top and then you let go. Did you broke them of that? Uh Jabus, did you break anything when you hit the floor? Hey, Mr. Sadie, speaking of school marms, you need to reach out to Mr. Sadie and find out what kind of good stuff they might have that you need to look for, Todd.
Yep.
Probably John Jones.
Yeah, John. Oh Lord, that's what I'm saying. Jim could do a whatnot show, and people would come in and buy stuff there just because he's so funny.
I
And
don't
he could
know.
have theme nights. He could
I
come
don't.
in a t-shirt.
Yeah, hey, God bless all the people that do and stuff. It's just not. I just don't think it's quite for me. Unless in the end, whatnot's the only place it goes you can make any money at. Then I'll talk about it. But
Uh, Jim could come out in a t-shirt, and Tara could hose him down with a spray bottle.
okay, that would be creepy.
No, it's
And I'm
theme
married
night.
to him, and that
It's
would be
wet
weird.
t-shirt night.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
hey, Glenn, how are you this morning? Um, Oh, you bounce.
I mean, you can do it like Diddy style. I could start squirting them up with baby
Oh,
oil, I
let's start talking
guess.
about Diddy.
Except you get all the merchandise would be oily then when you get it.
Ew.
Uh,
Hey,
do,
Swamp.
do, 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 do. Did you just go up to Wisconsin for a holiday, or did you go up there to see about the
Yeah,
stuff?
I don't vacation up there. No, I gotta get that wrapped up there.
Brought some more
Did you
stuff
bring home
down.
a big load of stuff?
I brought home my Jeep Cherokee.
Did you
That's
drive it or tow it?
No, we put it on a trailer. It don't have plates on it anymore.
So
I mean,
you
I'm
have
not gonna try
about
driving 800 miles with
you
no
have some
plates, a cracked
CJs and some
windshield.
things up there, don't you? Or did you get those moved?
Yeah, I think that's like some stuff we just got to get rid. There's, we couldn't burn because they had burn ban up there. There's some like old wood from the horse farm. I'm gonna burn that stuff up. There's some old metal from the horse farm. I'm just gonna get that picked up for
Well,
scrap
we always
metal.
knew we were going to. The scrap
Yeah,
metal from.
yeah, it was scrap metal back when we put
It
it
wasn't like
there.
we ever
We
thought we
just
were going
didn't
to
get it
save it.
done up.
So you getting ready to get
I
things
got
in order,
another
sell that
semi
off?
trailer I got to sell up there. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to sell it off today, and actually, the land has increased in value quite a bit from when I moved out of there. So, I mean, it more than doubled.
wow.
So
That's good.
you just need to get the
So
rest
I
of your
couldn't just let money. If I'd have cashed it out, 5 years ago, I
We're
mean, it
damn lucky to
probably.
have held it.
I don't know if I could have more than doubled, the money. So
right. Yeah, if you
I don't know
don't,
what it is with real estate.
it could sit there because they're not making
I mean,
anymore, and
it does. It ain't hurt. I own it free and clear. I don't have a mortgage on it.
We were pressured into selling quickly because the people wanted the house too. So we had, but then we're like, well, we got to move. We thought we'd keep the house and have time to move. So we wound up flipping the whole thing, except we retained that 9 acres.
right,
So, but we're darn lucky we did. So, because actually, it's gonna this 9 acres, this last 9 acres when it sells is gonna be about a lot of the value of the main parcel we sold.
right.
Percentage, I'd say like a third of the whole farm.
Yeah.
Well, you get that money, you can buy some land to expand the plantation.
I don't know about
We're gonna
that.
put it all towards Brandon's law school.
Law school.
All right.
Well, I figured you'd be using it for it when he marries one of those Amish princesses up there. Those damn,
Oh,
those
there's actually
daggum.
there's some Amish on the way other side of town, but we don't go. Well, the Amish, those former Amish, they don't run that auction anymore, so you don't hang out with any Amish kids
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
I think Brandon
Well,
needs to
now he's
run
like
for
a half.
Congress.
He's honestly, I call him a kid, but I mean he's like a man now. He's 17 years old. I mean, when he's standing and walking with us, he looks like a full size man.
What'd you say,
He's got a
Scott?
man
Todd?
voice.
Said I thought Brandon should run for Congress, but yeah, a law degree might start him out on the right path there.
Yeah, yeah. The
Counselor
honorable.
Kerry.
Go ahead.
I don't know. He swears a lot and stuff. They probably dig that up from his past. Then they could, like where they find stuff like, that you did in your past that, like he used to swear a lot or he
Yeah,
used to
well,
do this.
I've been
or-
to like Ducks Unlimited banquets with attorneys, and yeah, they got it.
No, I'm talking about like if you're a politician, like,
Oh.
like how they did Brett Kavanaugh where they like, he tried to hook up with this girl when he was 15 years old and you got to defend yourself for something you did as a kid.
Yeah, Sadie and I actually won money yesterday playing poker.
Oh, well, now you're professionals. You could go on tour together.
No,
Mm-hmm.
they've got to win a lot more money than they won to be to go pro.
Hey, I won $63. Come on, give
That'll
it up.
last you one day at the daggum Waffle House.
Well, I had to pay the $16 entry fee, so actually it's only like $45 that I won.
The 127, is that the one that goes through Kentucky? Because, oh no, I saw signs for the Highway 68 one. Yeah, I guess the 127 is farther in summer. Because I think the Highway 68 is like the first weekend in June.
I've never blocked Craig. Good morning, Latchart Picker.
How
Okay,
did
Craig.
I still can't
Hmm.
figure out how I blocked Craig.
And I don't know how Jameis got blocked. I mean, I just don't. Um, the
There was
127 goes through Kentucky.
there was 3 people blocked on my YouTube channel, and Craig was one of them. I'm like, what the heck?
I don't have access to Todd's channel. Even though I'm working on learning how to get this thing set up, EV Muck set up to so if I have to leave or anything or um, somebody pops in and I'm not sitting here at the computer, Todd can bring them into the show. He can end the show. He becomes like a co-host.
Second mate.
Yeah, he's my second mate, third
He's
class.
your little toady who can like now, block people on the channel or kick people out.
Dover Gill.
Yeah, it's lag
Scott
hacking
Farkas is
everybody's
perfect.
channel. Jabus is right. It's
Yeah,
lag.
Lag is the only one with access to my channel, and I don't know how he got it.
Oh boy. Probably it was on the dark web.
I think Lag built the dark web.
Yeah, I do too sometimes. He kind of scares me. I I think that lag needs to
He's
be.
got one of those anonymous masks on. He's the guy, that keyboard hacker that's.
Yeah.
The
I want
president of
lag to
Shadow
design a
Government.
program that if somebody tries to hack my computer, it feeds back at them some kind of virus that just starts wiping out everything that's attached to that computer. Would that be wrong? Because I'd
No,
hate
go
to,
ahead and get vindictive. We love it.
I think because you keep hearing about these
Don't
computers
turn
getting
the other
hacked and
cheek.
all this kind of stuff.
Eye for an eye.
I just think somebody needs to just get out there and build something like that, so it'll take down China in a single day.
I don't hear as much about hacking as I used to.
I think it's because I think it's because Web3 projects. Yes, um, I think it's because these security systems are
Yeah,
getting
and I
better.
guess I think people are also smarter about like if you get one of those phishing emails too. People are more a little smarter about that now.
The other problem is also they don't want to tell anybody. Let's say you're ABC Incorporated, you get hacked. The old thing was you told everybody, "Hey, we've been hacked" or whatever, and then everybody will help you. Now you pay the ransom, you fix it, and you don't tell nobody. You just suffer in silence because what happens is everybody says, "Oh yeah, that ABC Inc. They don't take care of your data or whatever. Don't do business with them. They're afraid it'll cost them financially if they let anybody know they've been hacked, so they just suffer in silence. So a lot of it now is not going reported.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jabez, you think that war shut down all the call centers? Hmm.
Oh, really? Was it
Oh, good.
ABC, honey,
Well, at
that you
least you'll
used to
talk to
order all the
somebody who can
stuff
actually
from?
fix your problem now.
That
Well, he's
catalog
talking
that
about
you used to
scam
get, was it ABC?
Oh, I'm talking about like
Yeah, it had
customer
all like
service.
what was the name? All the
You already know they won't help you.
Yeah, I haven't had a call from an African prince in a long time.
Oh, do they still do that one? They used to get
Oh
that
yeah,
email, the African. I haven't seen that one in a long
it
time.
goes because it goes right to your spam.
Oh,
If you look at your spam folder, you'll have a whole bunch of those.
oh, okay.
I am kindly reporting to notify you that your rich uncle in Somalia has passed away. Blah, because it's always like jazzed up English. Why don't they just hire an American person to proofread and reread it? Pay them like $100 or whatever to fix their letter.
how may I be helping you? Um,
I mean, AI could fix them for them, but I guess they're too lazy to do that.
Yeah,
there's
true
a
that.
bad AI out there.
My
But
toll road charge is overdue. Sure it is. Yeah, I've gotten a few of those lately.
Oh, I had a friend that got one of those toll road charge things. She's like, I haven't been across the bridge because we don't have toll roads here in Kentucky. It's only the bridge at Louisville that goes into Indiana is the only toll road.
Yeah,
Might be
they're
a
going to
dog.
send the sheriff out to
Well, they'll send a
confiscate my
letter. They
car.
don't have a way to. She doesn't have an iPad. So what they're saying is you got photographed going over the bridge and didn't pay, and it has all these fines. It's a
Oh,
total
it's a
phishing
fake.
scam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a lot of those. You'll get a lot of them. They'll say they're a PayPal charge. Look
Hmm.
out for those. Those are all fake. Or well, make sure they're not a real charge.
Well,
Get your
first of
PayPal charge.
all, they don't have your email address. And if you get a toll charge, like my son didn't realize he was on a toll road because it's a new toll road, and he got about a week later he got a invoice for the toll, and they had a picture of his car because they send it to
Yeah.
the address that is attached to the license
With the
tag,
license plate.
and you
Yeah.
don't have your email address on it. That's like getting emails from the IRS. The IRS doesn't send emails. They send letters and then they knock at your door. They don't send the
I
sheriff's
was gonna say they
department.
send a field agent.
Yeah, they don't send the sheriff's department because an IRS agent is law enforcement, and people just don't think, they freak out and they don't look at the whole message. What's going on?
Okay, I got a bone to pick here.
Okay, we'll pick it.
So the U.S.
Oh.
Postal Service sent me a letter saying, we would like your feedback on your recent lost package search. Case number, da da da. Anyway, it, lost packages, first of all, they shouldn't be lost. And second of all, I don't want to feedback. I already spent, how long does it take to fill out a lost package search? More time than probably, if they would, I don't see why, if you do a lost package search, my biggest gripe is, why can't you just put the tracking number in, copy and paste the tracking number, and you're done? Just say it's lost. Here's the tracking number. They have to know who it was sent to and your address and the receiver's address and all this stuff. And I'm like, all you have to do is look at the tracking number and you got it, stupid USPS.
Well, I'm going to play
Yeah,
devil's advocate.
It takes 10, 15 minutes to fill out that stupid lost package form.
They probably hope you get dispersed and quit so you won't file the lost package.
they have GPS on that scan tool when your mail delivery person is delivering your mail. Scan it. That's a GPS ping. They know that the post office knows that mail carrier was at your mailbox when they delivered it, because I had some stuff that was delivered to somebody else that was supposed to go to me. When I reported it, the guy from my mailman said, "Yeah, that's fine." He goes, "Because we have GPS, we know whose mailbox it went to. I'm gonna go talk to the guy," and that's how they recovered my item.
Well, no, they talked to the guy. He goes, "No, I
Well, he
never
denied
got
it.
it." He denied it, and then he's like, "Well, I know I got delivered there. There's nothing I can do about it because he's lying to me." And then about a week later, the guy must have decided he didn't use it, so then he dropped it off at the post office. We ended up getting it like a week later.
Yeah,
It was a belt for a
but just so
lawnmower.
you know, when they got that tracking number, they can go and look at all the GPS locations. So that thing that's supposedly lost, they know exactly the last time they had it. So they know whether or not you actually got it or not. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
yes, the tracking number would answer all the questions.
And on that same lost package, I got a call from a nice postal service lady, and she talked to me about it for a little bit. I was like, "You're a very nice person. Thanks for calling, but yeah, where's my package?"
So what happened with the package? Did
Oh,
it
it
just lost
finally,
to the ages, or never show up?
no, it got delivered 2 days later,
Oh,
but it was like 10 days late. I'm like, just do your job, USPS. And
Wait,
then
whoa,
when you
whoa,
don't
wait
do
a
your
minute.
job, don't make me fill out a 15-minute long form.
Todd, did you get paid on this package?
No,
Why?
because they
oh,
finally
for the lost
delivered it.
package.
Oh, but it got delivered. But did you get paid on it?
Yeah, the buyer paid. What do you mean?
No,
Oh.
like the UPS, like
Oh,
your
but you didn't
claim
get.
against the postal service, you didn't get reimbursed.
I didn't
for
make a
it.
claim.
Like
It was just, where is the sucker? It wasn't delivered for like 10 days.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I
I was
didn't
gonna say because I'm
explain
like
myself well.
agent for the lost package. You can't complain too much.
Shut up, lag. Go back to your dark web and play. Play with some Saudi prince or something.
Lag. Lag. That's not nice. One of these days, you might be in the same position if you're not a woman. Um,
So, but yeah,
just just to
why? Why can't? Why is it such a pain in the butt to fill out any form on the USPS website? All you got to do is put the tracking number.
Because they don't want you to do it.
They got all that information. Dang.
as
That's
far
why
as
they make the packaging now. When you buy something from like the hardware store, they package it in this encased plastic sarcophagus that you have to use a knife and a saw to get at your item. You finally rip it out of the package, and now you can use it. Well, there's a reason they do that. The reason is in the old days they put it in a cardboard box you could neatly open, realize it's the wrong size or whatever, put it neatly back in the box and return it. Now when you return it, you feel like an ass because the box is all cut up and you're like, oh my gosh, are the people even want me to return this? That's psychological. They're doing that deliberately so that you won't return the stuff. And the reason they make you answer a bunch of questions that they already have the information for is because they're trying to waste. They're making it so it's not worth your time to complain. It's deliberate.
Oh, we're being controlled by the USPS.
It's just right marketing.
we
Yeah, I think I'll fill out that questionnaire today and say, yeah, you followed through, but look how much time you wasted of mine by making me fill out all this crap when you had all the information to start with, you assholes.
Yeah, they don't care though. They're run like the government.
Yeah.
I know they're an independent company, but they are run by the government. Yeah. It's all just like this. They don't care. It's like the DMV.
Unless something's going to affect their biweekly direct deposit paycheck, they don't care.
the we have just for example 1234 Tom Street. That's our address, and about 2 roads over is 1234 Tomber Ridge Street. And so we'll get stuff for 1234 Tomber Ridge, and they get stuff for us. And usually I just throw it back in the mailbox and flip the flag up. But if it's meds, which it's usually meds, I jump in the vehicle and run around and stick it in their mailbox or ring their doorbell and let them know it's there because, half the times we're waiting on meds to get here because Roberta's and my meds are about to run out. So,
Tom's delivery service at your door.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you ever get a tip, Tom? Do they ever tip you?
Go ahead.
When you take their package to them, do they give you a tip?
No, they don't. But I just know how I can tell it's a white plastic bag.
They probably got it on their Ring doorbell. We got this weird old guy who keeps putting stuff in my box.
Well, if they do have a ring, when I push the button,
they turn them in for tampering with the mail.
I know. I thought I saw Tom on some of those short videos. Look at this asshole.
No, because if they've got a ring or something like that, I'll always say, they left your meds in my mailbox. Mm. And usually the person, some lady or some guy comes to the door and says, "Thank you for bringing that over there. We've been waiting for it." So, because these mail order medical, they do a good job, but sometimes they do run behind schedule or they get caught up in Alabama or Illinois where they're having a damn, issue with their postal service.
My local post office hardly ever messes up.
It's when it goes to the sort center.
It's always the region or the delivery at the other end. I can't think of a time when my local post office screwed something
We
up.
had like around Christmas time, I think it was, they had the Louisville Search Center was kind of jacked up, and we did have a couple things that got hung up there or lost there or something
Oh,
like
you can
that.
say it. It was the election year.
No, it was, but it was this year.
All this.
Oh, I guess it was. Oh, it was an election
Yeah,
year this year.
because Biden
But
was
it
still.
was around Chris. It was in
Yeah,
that
they
fourth
get all
quarter.
pissy at the post office.
To me, it looks like it
The
should
last
affect
one happened
um,
2020.
Mm.
the local post. Well, not the local
Maybe it's
post.
just because it's leap years.
If it's scanned to Illinois, it shouldn't affect our local post office. But it's the Gastonia Sort Center has become a black hole. Davis, Gastonia used to be a black hole. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that, but it was true. Um, the only problem I've ever had really with the postal service is um, I took an item to the post office. I mean, I left it out in the mailbox, and they scanned it as delivered instead of received. So, like 20 minutes later, I'm getting a message through eBay from a buyer saying, "It's showing the item delivered, but I haven't gotten it yet." And I'm thinking, honey, first of all, you're in freaking California. You just ordered this last night.
Hmm.
There's no way it's going to be there that fast. So I went out to the post office, and uh, they checked and they said, yeah, it's a mistake, and so they changed it to, you know, picked up. And he sent me an email saying that he's sorry for the inconvenience, blah 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 blah, and then I cut and pasted it to the buyer through eBay, so it would be inside the eBay system.
One of the local clerk ladies asked me a few days ago if she could scan in just a couple of packages and then print the receipt and then scan a couple more packages and print the receipt. And I said, why? She said, well, we need more hours. She said, I drive 30 minutes to work and they only give me like 4 hours a day. And so she said, if it looks like maybe we're doing more business, then maybe they'll give us more hours. And I was like,
Huh.
okay. No, I mean, it wasn't any skin off my nose. I just had like 5 receipts instead of just one.
Right.
But I think the postmaster must have told her not to do that because she stopped doing it. But
Um,
I mean, it didn't bother me if she needed to do that.
we
But yeah, they make her work like 5, 6 hours a week, but they only give her like 4 hours a day.
the Pineville, North Carolina post office relocated to a bigger building, and
Oh
apparently
yeah,
since they
James.
relocated to a better location because it's on Pineville Matthews Road instead of being on an off street inside of Pineville. I've heard that their amount of work they're doing has quadrupled just because of better location. So that's good. My precious. Yeah, if John, if you're doing priority mail and you call and schedule a pickup, then the carrier, because they have to stop and get the item and scan it and blah 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 blah, they get so much time per package. That's what my carrier told me. Because I said, well, I take if I have like 3 or 4 packages, I always take them to the post office. She said, no, no, don't do that. Call, schedule, go online and schedule a pickup. because they do get extra time for it, which means extra pay. Jabus, y'all get off that subject now, please. Y'all trying to make Lag out to be a pervert. He could be, but we don't know that for sure. So let's go move on.
Package
Uh,
stuff.
it's 10 o'clock. It's park and shop time. I
Oh,
don't. That was a. It was one of the first supermarkets in Charlotte.
Park and
Park and
shop time.
shop, and they sponsored over on WBT and AM radio at noontime. It'd be. It's 12 o'clock. It's park and shop time because they were the sponsor. Then they would play their little clip. Remind me, FedEx denied a claim we put in for damage.
that sucks.
Yeah, that is.
Sometimes for a while, the FedEx was be a real pain in the butt about claims, like if you had damage claims with them.
Absolutely, Jabus.
Like a claim with FedEx, they were being real pains there. We haven't had one in so they were being kind of pains in the ass.
I will tell you something though with since with the post office, it was a mistake I made. I didn't really. I got this package, and the person, the buyer, is complaining. They're like, "Why is my package going all over the United States?" And whatever. I'm like, "Yeah, that's weird because it bounced from one wrong place to go back to the other wrong place. It's like zigzagging." I'm like, "What the hell is wrong?" I reused a box. So Tara goes to this horse barn, and they give her like their nice sized boxes, which I use. Sometimes I will reuse them. Okay, they're in good shape or whatever. Well, on the back of one of the boxes was the label, that the previous label, and I put my label on the other side of the box, not realizing that the wrong label was still on the box. Oh my god! So it's going back and forth. The post office is like fighting which address they're going to send it to. So it was zigzag for like 3 weeks. It finally got there, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad to see you got your package." And the lady responds, "Yes, it's because you put two labels on the box." I'm like, "Oh my god, okay,
Sorry, not sorry.
Did you refund
won't do
her
that
money?
again." So if you do, you reuse the box, make sure the other labels off it.
The reason I left the WBT 110 on your AM dial up is because after like 8 o'clock or maybe it was 9 o'clock, their power outage would triple. So you could hear WBT AM all the way down to Florida during the night, but during the day it barely made it to Rock Hill from Charlotte. I wonder if they still do that now, or there's just so many dadgum radio
When
stations.
I was a kid, WLS on AM out of Chicago. Now it's just talk. But in the old, and when I was in high school in the early '80s, they would play like modern rock songs because the closest radio station we had was Wausau, Wisconsin, and they would play stuff that was like had been out a year for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they would
More
never.
than a year, I think like eight
Yeah, they would
years.
never play current rock, new rock releases. So WLS after like 8 p.m. at night, like you're saying, all of a sudden, I don't know, because I think it's also because the other AM stations were going off the air. So
Right.
WLS out of Chicago would run all night. Yeah, and that was like our only in northern Wisconsin. That was the only place you're going to hear like recent release rock music. It was great. Well, once in a while, they'd even play, hold on, Kiss.
Oh yeah, that
Because like
devil
the one
music.
out of Wausau, they would never play something as hard as like Kiss. that was just too crazy. It was
But
heavy
you know,
metal.
these AM stations stick in our minds because when we were teenagers, most cars what a teenager got to drive was had AM radios in them. It was their
Yeah,
dad's old
unless you
car.
bought the Craco FM converter, which worked like crap.
Yeah, yeah. It was about that big. The face of it was,
Yeah,
and then you had the cable. The only reason it was that big is because of the coaxial coming out of the back of them that you had to plug into the back of your AM radio and unplug the AM radio antenna and plug it into the back of that. Uh, Those are
My
good memories.
dad, my dad bought a Lincoln Town Car, a 1980 Lincoln Town Car. I remember because I was so excited. I'm like, oh wow, it's got the AM and FM right in the same radio. It was awesome. You didn't have to buy the add-on, uh, whatever receiver,
Yes, and before you
because it's
say it,
still
Javis,
AM, so it was all crackly, and if you went through a tunnel, you couldn't hear it.
yeah, before you say it, Javis, yeah, I had the 45 player built into my car. You know the stereo, the little turntable that cars had for a while.
You had a record player in your
They did,
car?
they did
I
No,
too.
I'm
never
making
knew
a
Yeah,
that.
joke. No, I did. That
They did.
predates
Oh, it was
me.
a
Those
joke.
when
are
I started driving, all the new cars have 8 tracks.
those are expensive now. Those old
I thought maybe
record
you brought your
players.
like
Yeah.
tabletop Victrola with you.
No. Yeah.
That's when they made glove boxes big enough to fit a whole stereo in there.
Yeah. It's Yeah. My
Do you
first
remember
car
when I
had
had a 1970 Pontiac? Go ahead.
my first car had no radio because it was a Jeep CJ5, and then I put in an AM FM radio into it. My second car
Ooh,
had an 8 track player in it. My third car had a cassette player in it. And now they don't, and then it was a CD player, and now they don't put any kind of players in it. You have to Bluetooth everything.
When I had a 1970 Pontiac Catalina, and it had what was called a map light. And it was pretty good size. It was like 4 inches long by 2 inches high, a plastic light, but it was directly over this big slide out ashtray, which was like almost the size of a desk drawer. You'd slide out this big ashtray, and you had this light over it, which was perfect for the person in the passenger seat. Say they had to, mess with something or whatever before they lit it. It was perfect. It was almost like in 1970 they planned it.
Speaking of ashtrays, we were on the Carnival Vista for this past week, and we were playing in the casino, the smoking section of the casino, because the non-smoking, which they have, the machines were just kind of dead in there. So we're sitting in there, and about 10 minutes after the machines activate, because they've got to get back into international waters, these guys are coming around with glass ashtrays and putting them on your
Oh, really?
on every machine. Glass ashtrays. And you know what the first thing I did was? I picked that bitch up to see if it had a Carnival logo printed on it or something like that. It was going to come home.
Damn
But
right.
I've not seen
Oh
any.
boy.
That
Of
must
course,
be something new because I don't remember any of the cruises that we were on where they had ashtrays at every.
I was going to say, wow, they still have a smoking section, but I guess
Yeah.
maybe because once they're out in international waters, you don't have the U.S. laws on like, smoking. You just light them if you got them.
Yeah. You can only smoke if the machines are active. And you can only
Uh,
get free drinks if the machines are
well,
active.
smoking and slot machines go hand in hand.
Do you
Absolutely.
remember in 1980 when you could still smoke in the hospital waiting room?
Have you not seen the old movies where there's doctor standing at the foot of some kid's bed in a hospital, and he's like, "Oh, he'll be okay. He's just got a little infection," and he's over there lighting up a damn cigarette. These
I
moms,
remember, yeah, when I was a kid, we'd be at the doctor's office. The doctor would have a lit cigarette in the ashtray at his desk while he's talking to you.
these moms now and dads, they would lose their shit if a doctor was to light up in the middle of an examination.
I remember when my brother had something in his eye when I was little, and we went to the doctor, and the doctor is swabbing on it with a cotton swab, and uh, he swabbed a little bit, and then he put the swab on his ashtray, the corner of his ashtray, and then he picked it up again and went to swabbing some more. Mom came
Oh
unglued
God!
at him.
Yeah, this cigarette ash will make that eye feel better in
That's
no
right.
time.
But you know what? I think kids were a lot
You thought you,
healthier then.
you thought whatever you had in your eye was bothering you. Wait till I put some of this cigarette ash in
It's a
there.
good thing he didn't pick up the lit cigarette and thought that was a swab. I.e.,
I was talking to a teacher friend of mine, and he said that they're talking about getting rid of the mandatory PE credit. because what does 30 minutes of fitness do when they're going to go home and sit down in front of a TV and play games? I mean, that's what their thoughts
Yeah,
are.
because they should show up at 6 o'clock in the morning at school for PT. It's
Yeah.
good for you. It's good for me.
You
I
were
do.
like,
Yeah, I
And
will
you know
say
who else?
like
And when they're doing PT in the morning, the
right?
principal should be out there with them doing PT. Every teacher and every all the staff people, the janitors should be there doing PT. God dang it! Well, that's the way it should be done. Like in
I will
Marine
say
Corps, the
like
commandant's out there doing PT every morning.
Hey,
Brandon does it like when I was in school. You had like gym. You had one of your periods was gym, and it was mandatory. He might have had a man. He might already be done with it, but because he takes one of his electives as conditioning, he doesn't have like a gym class. They just do conditioning.
I remember those old Datsun commercials of Japanese factories and people would be out there doing PT before going to work on the line.
Yeah,
I think they still do that, like in Japan.
yeah, they do.
It gets your mind
Even office
active. It
workers,
wakes you up.
they do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, I
To
think they still do that there.
it's
I remember at Home Depot they used to make us do stretching exercises, and we would all sit there and do. I mean, we didn't.
Oh, I did a thing at UPS, and they want you to do this stretching exercise. I'm like, you can take those and stick them right in your rear end. But anyway, the main driver, I did the holiday helper one year. He goes, "Yeah, you got to go there. You show up at like let's say 7:30, and then you do your stretching exercises
You want to be a
together."
healthy holiday helper, don't you?
No, I did enough work. I never. But,
That's why they call you Triple H.
okay. I got to get out of here, but on a final thought, talking about principles and doing
we didn't talk
PT.
very much about reselling. I tried to bring you back on
There's
track.
nothing.
Reseller should do
I
PT
don't have
at
nothing to
6 a.m.
say. And Todd's kind of like been his whole
You
spiel at the very
should
beginning of
do.
the show.
Tim has a good idea. You should do the reseller PT morning show where y'all do
That's
like
right.
stretches and exercises.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna
I have a
stretch.
weight around here somewhere.
Okay,
That's
I'm
Yeah.
done.
right.
Yep. Yeah. Todd's stretching his hand.
Yeah. Do you?
Tom's in like like that Olivia Newton John leg warmers and a
Oh God.
headband.
Oh God, let's get
Oh
physical.
no. Oh no. We're not talking about that. What was that? Let's get physical. Uh.
Yeah, let's get physical.
Swamp has got 11
Or
going out
what was that other
today.
stuff that did really well? Oh yeah, you're giving me a heart attack. Remember that little
Hey, by
chestnut?
space. Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up. There is a show that I follow. It's called on YouTube. It's called Jolly, and it's these British guys, and they eat all these kind of different foods. And they do this one thing where they have these British schoolboys, and they're in their little uniforms and everything, and they bring them American food for them to try. And them boys love biscuits and gravy. I will say that. But the principal, the headmaster out there, they always give him a sample of whatever they're trying, and it can be Cheerios or Fruit Loops or things that they can't buy over there because they don't allow the food coloring. Anyway, that principal on there, I'm surprised he doesn't weigh 300 pounds because they have not brought him anything that he does not eat and say, "Hey, this is good." It doesn't matter what. So, like I said, I'm surprised he doesn't weigh 300 pounds. Do you guys? You do? You can. Really? That might be them because when they're in the states, they go to places really unusual places. Not unusual. They're like local cafes that are known for their ribs and whatnot. Their barbecued ribs. So
Just want to see
anyway,
him try chitlins. I'm from
chitlins.
America and I wouldn't try them.
If
Oh,
you didn't know
no
what
I'm
way.
chitlins were,
scared.
you would think they were what is it the
Well, I don't eat pork rinds,
Yeah, and I
so
don't eat toilet paper.
what does that have to do with anything?
No, thank you.
You would not know what you were
chitlins isn't
eating.
that like pig intestine? Pig intestine?
Yeah,
I
they're
don't care if the toilet
intestines.
paper's been washed either.
They're intestines. Oh, they ate turtle soup. When I was in the Caymans many years ago, my friend and I we shared a turtle sandwich because we weren't sure how that was going to go. But anyway, thank you all for coming in here and hanging out with my first day back at the office because I didn't do squat yesterday, literally nothing. Um, Thank you, Todd, for being here. And thank you, Jim and Tara, for coming in and lightening up the show because it gets too serious with retail when
All
you're not
right.
in here.
Oh yeah,
And
because yeah, we're gonna come on.
I always appreciate anybody coming in, and there is an open door policy, y'all, or anybody wants to turn on their camera, and they don't even have to turn on the camera. Anybody wants
Be
to turn
careful
on
with
their mic and come in, you are welcome. Because I know some people just,
be careful with
you know,
those
I'm
open door
I'm glad to
policies
share
and
all
how
I
you
am
put them on.
glad to share all this goodness with everybody, but some people just not like that.
Oh boy, sounds like you're turning into a swimmer from all those cruises.
I am. Look at this. Look at all this goodness here. I have
There
to wear
you
clothes,
go.
Tom. Yes, you have to wear clothes,
I was
Jameis.
feeling frisky after that pineapple cruise.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Thanks again, and we will see you. I guess Scott, since he's not been in here today, he's been feeling under the weather. He's going to have a show tomorrow. If not, we'll see you Thursday. Back here on Thursday, and back on Todd's show on Friday. I don't know why I'm calling Scott. I don't know why I'm calling Todd Scott today. I guess it's that whole bald head thing. I don't know.
Mm,
Anyway, y'all have a great day.
maybe
Make
it's
it a
the
great
beard.
day. Bye.
Bye.
All right.